Today I'm going to talk about one of the greatest things about StocksToTrade, and that is the fact that we have broker integration as well as paper trading built into the platform. So today I'm going to walk you through how to use it. We're going to kind of talk about a stock and then actually go through the mechanics of executing a trade on StocksToTrade. Hey everyone, lead trader with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends, and also hit your notifications on YouTube. Ring that bell. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, turn on your notifications. Biggest reason I ask you to do that is we drop a ton of content every week, and also I go live every single day. So the great thing about that is if you've got those notifications turned on, I'm talking about the topical stocks of the day. You can jump on those lives, ask a question. I do Q&A, and if you have your notifications on, you can jump in as soon as I go live. You'll get that bing on your phone. All right, everyone, let's talk about executing a trade with the paper trading module or broker integration. Again, the beauty of StocksToTrade is you've got the same interface. So whether you're trading with a paper account or you're integrated with one or multiple brokers, you're dealing with the same interface. So that's the great thing. One of the downfalls about jumping around brokerage accounts, every time you do it, if you go to TD or you go to E-Trade or you go to IB, you got to learn their interface. You got to learn the mechanics. I mean, everything's kind of the same. You got limit buys, you got market buys. I mean, ultimately, it's kind of the same, but they're all slightly different. That's one of the coolest things, again, about StocksToTrade is being that it's built in with this common interface. If you decide to add another brokerage account, maybe it's more OTC friendly, or maybe you got a swing trade account at one broker and then a day trading account at another broker, or maybe you've got a smaller account and you're using that methodology where you've got multiple accounts to give you more day trades, which is, we talk about the PDT a lot. And something in other videos you can watch, I talk about it, but you can actually have, the nice thing about the PDT, the one nice thing, there's not much nice about the PDT, but something that a lot of people misunderstand is it's not like based on the person or based on the social security number or anything like that. Your 3-day trades are based on each account. So if you have multiple brokerage accounts with multiple brokers, you get those 3-day trades with each account. So that's kind of a little bit of a workaround. If you got 3 accounts with 3 brokers, then you get 9-day trades. So I won't get into that too much. We have other videos where we talk about that. So anyway, maybe you got those multiple brokerage accounts or you're testing with paper trading, same interface. So let's get into the mechanics. So what you can see is I've got my order box here. We're looking at the big OTC runner of the day, RGBP, which was a stock we were all over in the steady trade team this morning. Why were we? I mean, you might ask, Tim, just bring up some big gainer and say you were all over it. Well, the chart pattern was there. I mean, the beauty of this thing was, it gapped up to 52-week highs this morning, and then we've seen that over and over and over again with these OTCs. OTCs are still, they're not as hot as they were a month ago, but they're still pretty hot. These breakouts, I mean, I hate to say it's easy or simple, but I mean, that's the great thing about these OTC setups. You're just scanning for volume and 52-week breakouts, which are all tools you've got in StocksToTrade. So we were talking about this one this morning when it broke that 45, okay? So bear with me because it's 1,000th of a penny stock. That's one of the things I always struggle with these OTCs is the way to say it. But when I talk about that 45 break, it would have been 1,000th of a penny. So 0.0045. Bear with me. You can see it on the chart right there. I'll hover to make it easier for you. But anyway, beautiful breakout over February's highs. And then you see the volume. We're at 3 billion shares traded right now at 2 p.m. This morning, it was trading 100 million of shares. So the reason I bring this one up is this is now what we would call that OTC gapper. Totally an OTC gapper. So as I mentioned, this is that big gainer that a lot of traders will avoid because they're like, 700-800% can't possibly go higher. These OTCs and really anything in this market we're in can always go higher. So what I'm going to look for right now, you can see a little bit of that dip. So we would look to buy into that dip, get a little bit of a dip, risk off of that pre-market high, which let me drop that level. So I'm breaking down, first of all, the trade thesis, then we'll actually execute. So you can see that I would look to base my risk off of that pre-market high at 1.4 cents, basically. 0.014. Again, bear with me on the abbreviations. So now we're going to look to buy into that dip. So I'll put a buy order. You can see I've got buy, I've got sell. I can choose whether I want to buy on the bid. So if I hit that left button, that auto enters a price on the bid, or I can enter on the ask. So if I hit the right side, that auto fills me an order on the ask, which again, being an OTC, a penny stock, spread is really tight, which is nice. I mean, it's basically, in essence, the spread is almost zero. But if you're trading a stock with a little bit wider spread, you can quickly decide to enter that order on the bid or the ask with that button. Or I can also even hit mid, and then that'll place me an order, mathematically in the middle of the bid and the ask. So you're trying to grab that little bit of a dip. So I would always use limit orders on any trade. If you're a FOMO bro, which I always like to make fun of the FOMO bros, you can use market orders. I never recommend that. Please don't use market orders ever. If you're using a market order, it's because you're a FOMO bro and you can't get in fast enough. So anyway, never use market orders, but you can with StocksToTrade if you wanted. I'm going to use a limit order in this scenario. You can also use a stop order, where I typically use that as, after you're in the trade. If you want to go outside, if you want to do things, which the great thing about what we've got now, I've got my iPad, we've got that Steady Trade mobile now, or StocksToTrade mobile now, so you can follow your stock, whatever you're in. You can see what the chart is doing. And then the great thing too is if you're in a really volatile stock, you can actually watch breaking news, which is our alert service, which is great if you're in like the stock du jour, the crazy runner of the day. A lot of these stocks do filings, they do offerings, they do press releases, they do pumpy dumpy stuff. Okay, the breaking news can alert you with that, and if you got to exit your position. So use that mobile app, check it out. It's on the App Store. Go to StocksToTrade.com. We've got a link there as well. So that means, I would set that stop order after I enter. So what I'm doing, I'm going to put in a limit order we'll do 2 million shares, because again, this is a low price stock. We'll put it on the ask here, and then we'll submit that. You can now see that this order is in place to 2 million shares at 1.81 cents and a buy size, etc. Once I hit yes, then it's going to enter that order. You can see I got an execution, so I got filled. You can see my real-time P&L here based on what the stock is doing. And then now that I'm in this position, I can now do my stop order. So I'm going to jump over to sell. My auto filled on my 2 million shares, and I'm going to do that stop order down on my break of resistance, which I'm going to say is 0.139, which is slightly below that level of 0.14, because I want to give it a chance to bounce off of that. So now I've got to sell, limit 2 million shares at a stop price of 0.139. Once I submit that, you can see it's entered, it's queued up. I hit yes, and just make sure everything's right. Yep. So now if that stock drops to that level, I'll get executed. I'll get taken out for my acceptable stop loss, and I can now, in theory, go on about my day. Now, one thing I do want to say with stop orders, especially in really volatile stocks, sometimes you can miss a fill. Okay, they can blow through your stop. It can happen, but just keep that in mind. If you're trading the most volatile of the volatile, then either watch it on your phone or don't leave your computer. The stop order will usually execute you, but if there's a true panic, like say there's some terrible news on RGBP and it blows through, it's always a good idea to kind of, at least manage your position and don't walk away. So now we've got the entry. We talked about that, how to actually execute that order. I've got my protective stop. Then what's the other thing? What do I always tell you? It's not a trade without an entry and a plan and a clearly defined risk to reward and a goal. Okay. We don't try and get greedy. When we're talking day trading, We're just looking to take consistently repeatable moves from a stock. So you can see my risk. I think that this could continue to run tonight into the close, into after hours. So now I'm going to put in my sell limit at my goal, okay? Which I'm going to call my goal for this example. Let's see, it's going to break out to 2.5 cents. So I'm going to put in an order to sell my 2 million shares limit, okay? That means I will not sell for less than, that's what your limit order is denoting, less than or better 2.5 cents. So that's in there. So now I'm not, that way if this stock rips into the close or tomorrow morning, ideally this is an OTC gapper, sure looks like one. So my order stays there. It gaps up in the morning, takes me out, hits my goal. So now I go to submit that. You can see I've got my sell limit, 2 million shares at my 2.5 cent goal. Once I enter that, now I've got my goal, I've got my stop. In theory, I can walk away happy and safe to know that if the trade goes against me, I'm stopped out for my acceptable loss. Losing's part of trading. Otherwise, if it runs into the close, hits my goal, and happy days. So, all right, everyone, definitely check out the broker integration as well as paper trading. This was an example of a paper trade, but everything's the same with a broker integration. All the mechanics are the same. And again, that's the beauty of what we're trying to do here. Is what we're trying to accomplish is having that one platform to accomplish everything. I've told this story many times on these videos. Before StocksToTrade, I had separate pieces of software, charting packages, news flow packages, I'm screeners, all different. I mean, I know in this day and age, you might be like, yeah, right, Tim, whatever. No, every day, when I think back to like 2010, 2012, I would sit down and launch like 5 different software packages. And I used to have a tab profile that would, when I launched my browser, would open up like 6 tabs. That's where I started. All this stuff opening, I had to go and walk away, get a cup of coffee while everything loads. And, then I'm launching multiple brokerage accounts, because each one has a different piece of software, each a different interface. And it just, I managed, never liked it, but it was a hassle. Now, what's great about StocksToTrade, everything all in one place. Screeners, charting, news, Twitter's integrated, Oracle's integrated, the breaking news is integrated, chat rooms are integrated. I didn't even mention that earlier. One of my routines was launching a bunch of chat rooms. We've got the Steady Trade chat room, we've got the small cap rockets, we got breakouts, breakdowns, we got breaking news, all these chat rooms, all built in. Plus, you can now enter and execute your orders from the platform. And I think it's a great thing. Less of a learning curve, less updates, less passwords, less user. I'd forget, you'd get like the password timeout, and then you'd have to, just Java updates, just all these hassles that are solved by StocksToTrade. So hit that link below, get the trial, check it out. And if you're looking to learn even more, check out the Steady Trade team. I look forward to working with you in a small mentorship group. And most importantly, have a great day, and I wish you the best.